All right, let's get rid of the comments so that when they pop up, I can hear them. Because what I'm doing is I'm trying to finish this, so I can move this around here so you guys can see what I'm working on, for one. And two, that way there's context. Like, what the hell is she even doing that? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Well, we're looking at what we're fixing to do, which is add or there we go. Or names from other creators that I have recently become more acquainted with on the YouTube streets and da 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 da. And let's see if we get the angle right, because most of them are going to probably be somewhere in this area. And I was about to finish this one right here. First of all, that's where we're going to be starting. That is the one I've been working on for a special someone. So I'll get my marker wrong thing of mark. See, I'm not sure how much brighter that gets. Hello, Lizzo. How are you? Let me know if you can hear me real good, and if not, I'll try to hook up the headphones to that one instead of my other phone, and it might work better. If not, I might try to plug in the microphone, but it usually doesn't work on StreamYard for me because I have a basic, just the basic free plan. So let me know if you can hear me, and if not, then we'll keep going with the sound. But yeah, so we're at the right angle. I just don't want my tripod to fall off the back. And get that, and if I have to, I'll get that extra light one too. That way, there's more light right there, which is a good possibility that's going to end up happening. But until then, let's do that, shall we? Okay. So let's put my picture like that. Not with green. Let's do red. Because why? Because it's blue everywhere else. Everywhere else. Blech, everywhere else. So let me know if you guys have watched some of my last uploads. Let me know what you guys thought. If you guys enjoyed that little whole ordeal. My with my daughter calling me at 3 a.m., which I need to call her here in a little while because Lisa's out of therapy now. Speech therapy, which is really good for her. It has been really good for her, and I'm really proud of her because she's doing a lot better as far as being more verbal. And that's the whole reason. I don't know if y'all caught that the other day. Do I do the weather? Or do you mean do I mess with the weather? uh, are you familiar with atmokinesis? That whole thing, like that, with the weather. Let's see. Let me get my chair over here. Because yeah, that's actually kind of how I got in. At first, it was that whole story where people used to say that the government controlled the weather, but then I started looking. I was like, well, maybe there is some truth behind that. So hashtag, and that's what she said. You could just put a hashtag on everything. Is exactly what she said. You cannot just put a hashtag on everything. It doesn't work like that. Trust me. And you probably wouldn't want to put a hashtag on everything because it really would. You know what I mean? Some things just don't want worthy of a hashtag. And I'll tell you what, sometimes this is rather difficult to do based on the fact that I have it hanging. There's not any solid thing behind it and all that. So, and if you notice, I've been working on this for this me first live one on your channel. I thought you came in the other one the other day, but maybe not. Yes, I'm into atmokinesis. I practice it very, very often. There's a lot of other stuff I practice along with hermetics, which has to do with alchemy and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, And I felt so bad because it was supposed to rain here yesterday and it only rained for like maybe 15, 20 minutes. And I was talking to my daughter and she goes, I said, did you get to take the kids to the park today? And she goes, no, it rained here all day. Like she knew that I had been messing with weather. It was like somehow my fault. So I stayed over their direction. So, but it was an accident if it was related to me, which it could have been. But I doubt it. I don't think I'm that good just yet with my mind powers. Although I don't know lately. You've never used a hashtag? Really? Wow. I used to go, so when I first started getting on social media, it was like after a lot of my peers and a lot of them used hashtags, but I didn't necessarily know like the whole reason behind them. I just knew that it was able to help your search, enhance your search based on that like keyword. But I didn't really get like, the whole thing. So like when I get mad or I'd go on a rant on Facebook, because that was mainly where I was at first on social media, was Facebook. And me and my daughter, this was back when she was a teenager, we were having an argument one day via Messenger. And next thing I know, I just get this message from her that goes, she's going off on me. And she goes, and you can't just put a fucking hashtag on everything, Mom. It doesn't work that way, okay? And I was like, damn. Fast forward to about almost 10 years later, I'm sitting here and I had this aha moment one night. I can't remember what it was about. Somebody said something about that whole hashtag thing. And the way they worded it, it clicked. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's what my daughter meant. So that's what this is about. It was that came from a very wise young lady from her to me, which is cool. I've learned a lot of cool stuff from my daughter. So there's like goods and bads to being a teen parent, because I feel like, and my daughter's talked to me about this with both her husband and the way he was raised and the way she was raised by like younger parents, and the things that they did that they did that had a negative impact on their life or whatever. They strive really hard to make that not happen in their relationship and in their marriage and stuff like that. So in that sense, that's really good. If you notice, I'm real particular about my hashtags that I use in my videos. I try to use the same ones every time to keep it bringing that specific traffic to my channel, because I am from North Carolina. I am a vlog artist and stuff like that. So I try to do it like that. But I look into my analytics a lot, which the YouTube Studio app is really good for that. That's super good. Super, super good for that. Do everything. And then there's some names, creators' names that also needed to be added to this. Let's put everything down here. That's my cute little desk thing that I was telling you guys about the other day. So I'm going to go back up here and post this one for a minute. We're going to do that. And then I'll have another one. And then I'm not exactly sure. Let me see if I know how to make, I don't know if I know how to make you a moderator. Add share screens. Or if that's something that something else has to do. Okay, guest play sound. Guest must authenticate. Da, 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 da. And there's no banned guest. So yeah, I haven't had guests on yet, but that's something I'm working on right now too. Having people on here separately and doing interviews with them, because there's so many questions that like I will be having with people in my personal life, and a topic of conversation will come up where I'm like, oh my gosh, I know somebody that is in the treehouse or is over there in the live chat all the time that can totally help you with some insight on some of the stuff that you're saying. Because like honestly, like having met a lot of you guys being in the treehouse, I can see I have a perspective where I can see both sides of things. I see where people are closed-minded because they've never met people like the way I've met people, and the people that I meet are so unique in comparison to the average person and to most of the people that everyday people meet. You know what I mean? Like we're just different. So, and I think that's part of the fear why people are like, kind of skeptical about talking to some of us at first because they don't really know how to take us. But the fact that we all are communicating now and we're able to come together and share these things back and forth with one another and provide insight with one another that we didn't have before. Like, I mean, me being a millennial, being a grandmother too at my age, and still being single, and all the stuff that I do, and all the crap I've come through to still have a sheer amount of self-esteem for one, let alone to be able to get up every day with us and try to have a smile on my face. Um, yeah, I don't know how to give. I'm not sure if that's something I'm able to do yet, just not yet or not. See, I use StreamYard to go around the guidelines that you have to have to stream live on YouTube. I don't meet them yet, or I wouldn't be able to live stream. But the StreamYard does it for me so that I can bypass that criteria. But I have a basic plan, so it doesn't allow me to do some of the things like Rich and Sarah and them are able to do. But pretty soon they're supposed to be able to, we're going to be doing it to where, you know how they simultaneously air from all of their channels, we'll be doing it from like mine too, so that and then hopefully if there's days where they can't do it or there's a time frame where they're not able to do it, it would be something that I would want to do to help fill in whenever, like, Rox is missing or Sarah has to take off or whatever, because, and, that's what me and Alex are for too. Also, I moderate in there too when I can to try to make sure people who have been there and deserve a ranch get a ranch, And then, like the other day while we were, of course, during that live stream, I was coordinating that, getting Daisy on, which was so awesome that we were able to get her on like right then after just talking about her the day before. And then my friend Ronnie, who I'm going to message her in a minute and be like, are you off this week? Would you be interested in some time, even if it's the evening time before you go to bed, or maybe right in early morning time before you get started on your day? But we really would love to talk to you about stuff you do with mushrooms. And so, because the company they works for, they specialize in new types of medicine to treat cancer that has to deal with more natural medicinal properties and stuff like that. And it's really cool. So it's stuff we're all interested in. So I wanted him to hear about Ethan Dean and the RSO mouthwash and all that stuff. And I, I just think it would be really, really, really cool stuff to get him on too. So yeah, even have you on if you wanted to be up on the panel. I would seriously love to. Yeah, have you on the panel. I think that's like, yeah, because for so many different reasons, like every time someone says something that you can tell where they're just like, if they don't have no context behind a brief like mentioning of some of the stuff we talk about on the show, especially some of the stuff we've all talked about recently on the show, if they don't really have a lot of context behind it, I get at a glance or at an overview or here, you might think like, what the fuck have they got going on over here? That's the reason why it's important to pay attention and focus. That's what Sarah and me and Rich and Kevin were talking about the other night. Like, if you can only give us 15 minutes of your time, that's not what we're here for. The problem is with that is that we have allowed them to start only paying attention for that amount of time and just accepted that they were going to fucking space out and not redirect it back and just let that fly for so long. That's why there is this problem with ADHD that's going unchecked. It seems to me like it's getting worse. Like I said, with my kid, with my kid being in like 30 seconds into a video, they ready to do that. And one thing that drives me nuts too about that anymore is, here's the thing, people, most of y'all are not watching your TV that's on your wall. You're usually on your computer or your phone right in front of you. So is it really necessary to come in and then spend the extra energy that it is going to use to turn the TV on, have it on something that you know damn good well you're not even going to look at except maybe twice through an hour-long thing? And if you're doing good, you might absorb maybe about a paragraph's worth of context out of that whole thing. Why are you doing that? And you want to tell me I'm a bitch? I'm a nagging ass bitch? Well, I'm here trying to save the planet. There's a lot of other light people out there like that too. And we don't have but so much more patience because it's like, why are we repeating ourselves? Do y'all like repeating yourselves? No, we don't either. So I don't even know. Yeah, I no, you're newer into that, or you're more into it than I am. I only found out about the mud flood stuff literally like about maybe 3 months ago, if that, because of Cam and Burn. And Sherry had mentioned it one morning in chat with Rich and them. I was like, wait, what is this mud flood stuff? So I started watching Cam and Burn, and like then that's when I found out about Mind Unveiled. Have you seen the channel called Mind Unveiled? If you haven't, go watch his video on the Biltmore estate. Have you ever? Hi, thank you for joining us. We're talking. It's kind of random, impromptu because I'm finishing some stuff on my background paper right here. But yeah, the Biltmore House, Charleston, all that stuff. It's all connected. And if you're familiar with the Biltmore House and you've been watching any of this for any length of time, then you know that I live in Asheville, which is where the Biltmore House is located. So yeah, let me get a napkin in case my nose ring got boogers coming out of it. That's gross. Uh, and there's so many secrets about this family and about the covering up of the Tartaria stuff. It's like, yeah, it's so not. It's like, and then the more you dig, the more deeper. Hey, 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 hey! It's good to see you. So cool to have you over here in my life. Um, yeah, I really hadn't heard that much about it. But then when you go, especially down here, um, in the Biltmore Village, and you start looking at some of the architecture and just the way it's all set up and stuff, it's like it's so obvious that yeah, it's definitely something like that. I mean, there's just no way that it's not, and that's just in my opinion, based on things that I know and based on things that I see happening around me when I'm in town and when I'm out in public and all that kind of stuff. Like, and that family's big. That family's real big. Yeah, the family's real big. So, and but I mean, like we said, it has to be talked about. Like if we don't talk about that, they thrive off of us not talking about it. If we don't talk about it, then they just keep doing it. But we have to talk about it in a way that doesn't make it acceptable or normalize it or glamorize it. That's just my opinion. But no, we hope you're having a good day, dear. You went out for another long one yesterday. I was watching some of that just earlier with you, excuse me, and Squirrel Sniper, and the beginning of it about that. Is that the same old sock troll bitch that you had to warn me about over on my channel when she first showed up over there under some Mickey Mouse name? That fat old hoe. She does. She's obsessed with Rich, is what it is, y'all. I mean, she's really, that's what it is. You can tell she's obsessed. Yeah, but oh, you know what? You got a good point. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I knew it. I knew that. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that's who it was. As soon as when I started thinking about what they were saying to you and stuff, I was like, oh, "This is that fat old bitch." You can't blame her, Rich, for being obsessed with you. I mean, look at her. If I had to sit there and watch stuff on YouTube all day, and I come across you, and that's all I had to look at, I'd probably be obsessed with you too. But that chick was disturbing. One of her videos on her that one channel. Um, yeah, when you mentioned when you said Brian Harvey, because I had remembered that all the way back then, I was like, "Yep, that's her. That's the one. That's the one." Oh, that y'all don't even know that chick is so psycho over Richie. For the newcomers that that didn't know him in his channel before, he does have a troll that like she's obsessed. Like she's full. I know we are, aren't we, Lizzo? And don't you give me that shit about crow's feet. I heard that too, by the way. Honey, I probably have. Look at these wrinkles. And you over here talking about crow's feet, Rich. Quit playing with me, boo. That ain't even funny. Don't even. And then I saw Roxanne's video this morning, so I left her a comment, told her sending her love and missed her bunches. And I did like her video. It was really good. It was cool. So I messaged Daisy. I just don't know if she's messaged me back this morning, but I sent her all the information. So as soon as she gets on Signal, when she downloads Signal, we'll be able to get up and talk to her more about that stuff too. So yeah, I thought I might, because it'd been a minute since I put names up here, and I noticed that I needed to add some people from the treehouse. There's like more names that need to go up here, but once this gets full, I'll just have to keep adding them to another one. I know, right? Like we can't just expect to be flawless forever. Although we can do stuff to make it like, I guess if we were rubbing foreskins on our face, we might not have wrinkles yet. You do not look that old, trust me. I see people your age that have not aged anywhere near as well as you have, so you should just eat it up. Although I'm still just, I don't even know how to take it. Sometimes when people compliment me, I'm like, are they looking at the same person? Because I just, I'm just so used to seeing myself as like a guy. It's just, or like that. I have, um, it's just more that my brain works on like that male side. What do you mean it's different for you, girl? Psh, what do you mean it's different for us? Oh, do please explain, darling. I would love to hear that. Like it's different for us. Like we don't worry about aging. Are you kidding? I'm already starting to worry about shit like this. It's probably not that big of a deal with the receipt. Like, I don't care, but like it's more this right here when it starts standing right, yeah, right there. Or y'all know what the fuck I mean. Yeah. I guess it is. I guess it is a little bit different. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I think what's weird about it is the things that when I was younger that I didn't worry about would be the first things that would show my age are actually the things that I'm starting to notice first and that do kind of show my age, but not as much. Like, yeah. I was always worried about gray hair. That's not showed up that much. And I was worried about um, wrinkles. They haven't showed up that much. And it's like the aging process slowed down a little bit, but then there's other things that I've noticed that have like uh, the hairline does recede a little bit, and the hair has the thickness of my hair. I've noticed that the thickness of my hair has, but it's really elastic still. The elasticity in my hair is I don't have that crepey. Wait a minute, I am starting to get that crepey skin. It looks like y'all like what it is this it's this year 2022 has given me because ever since then, before then, it was this rest in bitch face, no wrinkles, and then and everything in 2022 has had me going. And then you can see wrinkle, wrinkle, just so many wrinkles it ain't even funny. Just wrinkles from all over the world. Just everything just wrinkled. That's what me and my friend all the time. She was like, "How many times a day do you think I sit there making this face?" I was like, "I'm worried her face is gonna freeze like that." Like straight up. That's what I'm afraid of. Your grace and why would you plug that is the rich? None, honey. I knew you knew better than that. Something just tells me because that has been around for so long. There's no way you didn't know that, dear. There's just no way. There's just no way. Uh, it's super quiet in this house, which is also giving me the creeps a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, can you guys hear me really good? Not, but I guess Mike, is it testing? Let's see. Automatically adjust it. Yeah. Oh, it's working. It's working good. I just have to speak louder. That's all it is. That's all it is. And then let's see what's the layouts about. I guess I could if I wanted to. Okay, thank you. Uh, but don't you like? Do you mean you want hair like a man's like long hair or like just short hair? Like you would keep it cut short? Oh, a hairline like a man's. I know my daughter has that. She's got the widow's peak. I know that's why I know partly that's why mine falls out, and it also was falling out when I was on the Depo Provera shot. Yeah, for a while. Um, but my hair would grow, but it would grow a lot, but it would fall out. It would fall out a lot when I would comb it and stuff. I know the bleaching is what causes the majority of my hair falling out. When it does fall out, it's because I've bleached it. When I use those other dyes, it doesn't so much. So it's hard for me to say. Yeah, it would be interesting if some crazy shit was to happen where like I love Rich, why'd you have to bring up the mohawk? Because I love the mohawk. And he's like, it's just too high maintenance. What do you mean it's too high maintenance? Like, I don't want to hear that. I'm the stuff we do to look good for y'all is high maintenance. You couldn't just do that one little thing to be high maintenance. I mean, we don't have to see you with your pants on. You're sitting down anyways. You couldn't at least just keep the mohawk, my dear. I love you. Yeah, that's what we're when they have that peak that comes down and it kind of like does the what I always call the Eddie Munster thing. My granddaughter has it. My daughter has it a little bit. It's because her dad and her paternal grandmother do. I don't. I just have a big ass forehead, big high ass cheekbones. That's the Cherokee blood in me, and the blonde hair, blue eyes comes from my mama, which I thought was an awesome blend of genetics. Yeah. I've even thought about doing the mohawk. I just don't think I'm brave enough to do the mohawk, if you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Because, well, because it might freak out my grandkids. And my one grandkid doesn't even know who the hell I am unless I have black lipstick on. He literally just looks at me like, who the hell is this woman? And why is she looking like, who is she? Put black lipstick on, it's like a whole different person. And I swear I'm so tempted to dress up like a scary clown to get the clown fear out of these kids right out the gate. Rich, what are you gonna pull a Francine on us from freaking American Dad, where she just gives up and her hair goes back and her roots start showing, and she's got that horrible unibrow and just oh gosh, y'all, he's gonna go crazy on us and go just completely give up. Don't do that. Clowns are not creepy. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna dress up as a clown for Halloween, and I'm gonna change y'all's mind on clowns. Clowns are not creepy. Creepy. Blah, blah. I love clowns. I'm dressed up as a scary, sexy clown. How about that? Annie, why are you over here huffing and puffing? What do you want? What do you want? Steps. This is what it's like when you're a people that lives under the state. Yeah, I love that movie. No, he's like, no, you're right, Penny. Rich. Yes. No, I love it. Okay, did you see that baby though? Did you see the baby? I sent you guys the pictures of the baby. Don't you get me started on how cute that I can't even. I said that to my daughter and she goes, Mom, what the fuck is no? I said, please, for Christmas. I could see my son being into that. I don't know. He's a little creeped out by dolls though, ever since Annabelle, because Annabelle came out when he was a little bit younger, and he insisted on watching it, and then it creeped him out. I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Especially if I could get somebody to do the makeup right. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I have the right boots for the tank girl stuff too. I also think I could pull a good Alice or the Queen, either one. maybe. But honestly, I'd rather be the Mad Hatter. That's the one I would rather be. That's who I would want to be if I had my choice. That's who I'd be. Oh, speaking of, let me show you my wallpaper. This is so cool. Let's see. There we go. Isn't that cool? I thought it was super cool. I thought it was super cool because when when you're looking at it from a glance, it's really, really cool. Well, there's the other side of it. See? Speak of the devil. I think that's my daughter calling. Yep. Let's see. I'll answer and see what she says. Well, y'all won't hear her though. Hey, kiddo. Don't you get notifications? Say hi to everyone. Wave, because I'm in the middle of a live stream. Yeah, but I still wanted to answer. Everybody, this is Holly. She's waving. Said hi. That's my daughter, Holly. What's up? I was doing it impromptu thing because remember that thing I told you about that I was going to finish right here with the oh, yeah. So if you want to, you can put it on the live and then you can watch and then I can chat with you in the chat part. Or I can send you a link and you can be on it. But if the baby starts screaming, everybody would hear the baby start screaming. So it's either one you want to do. Oh, hey. Oh, Daisy says hi too. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Daisy says hi. She says, hi, everybody. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You want to see Gigi on TV? Yes. Yes. She said no. She said no. But she means yes. Yes. Because look, Gigi's hair is green. Come look at it. It's green. Yes. So yeah, you should do that. Yeah, but if you go to my channel, it should be up right now. It's good to see you guys too. Make sure you guys hit the like. Don't forget to hit the like. Smash it. Punch it with your forehead. Whatever. Okay, BB. You can come watch. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Love you. Oh, I love you. Yeah, I love when she does that. You tell me bye. You push the button. You push the button. Push the button. Bye. She did it. That's like the highlight of my day, you guys. Seriously, seriously. She said hello. She's gonna be in the chat in just a minute. And Issa, like I said, she's going through speech therapy. So anytime I say something and then she says it right back without me having to ask her, like to say it, oh man, I'm like I am over the moon right now. Even if she says like no when I say yes, but last night she was saying no and I was like yes, and she goes yes, and I was like yes, and she goes no. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with it? And then I have this weird thing where I call her Issa, but everybody else calls her Bella because her name is Isabella. So I don't know if there's going to be this moment one day that occurs to her, like, which one is it? Is it Issa or is it Bella? Is Gigi purposely calling me by the wrong name, Mom? Like, no, we're just going to give you the option to decide what you want to be called. You can be called Isabella, Issa, Bella. Hell, you can go by your middle name if you want to. I don't care as long as it's one of those. Don't come home and tell me your name's Bob because then I just don't know what to do. I'm not prepared for that. There's no manual that comes for that kind of stuff, y'all, especially when you're a grandmother. Like your daughter comes to you like, Mom, I don't know what they're doing this crazy stuff in school. I'm like, I don't know, Holly. They didn't do that to me when I was in school. They didn't do that with y'all. So like, yeah, that's tough. And you want to also want to be like, I also want to be respectful of their feelings but at the same time, let them understand like, that's just no. Like I was reading an article yesterday about a woman who was like, mad because her daughter was banned from sports teams from other schools. She's in middle school. She's been banned from like 8 schools locally because she's trans. And I'm like, you and your daughter shouldn't even be having that type of conversation at that age. It's called get her into therapy and lots of it. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but coming from someone that like has been told my whole life, like, oh, you're confused, because when I would tell people about my sexuality, they'd be like, you're confused. No, I'm not confused. And I'm definitely not confused about my gender. And gender and sexuality are 2 different things. So yeah, I mean, I literally just understood everything I just said. I'm not confused. I think if anything, sometimes that's the situation with that, and there's some sort of thing that they need to work out, like verbally or internally or physically, before they just go and start, like you were saying, no, they just, because once the shit's gone, man, it just don't come back. It is not that easy, you know. It's just, yeah, exactly. You're just too young. I mean, yeah, and I'm sure Lizzo too has lots of thoughts on that. Like, it's so harmful to their little brains that are developing when you start trying to it, math and science and reading and shit. That's what they should be concerned about from kindergarten to literally high school. That's it. And abstinence. Freaking, hey, Holly, there she is. Oh, that's right. She's got an iPhone. But it's just, they shouldn't be, we just should not be talking about that. Oh, and oh my gosh, who was it? Was it in our show the other day where sodomy, anal sex was being brought up as a form of abstinence or contraceptive. I cannot remember which chat I was in, whether it was here, a conversation with my daughter, or a conversation with Daisy or somebody else. But forgive me if that's not something you want to hear about. But yes, that is also something that is being discussed in their what is it? Their sex education class now is that. And I was like, there's a reason why it's a crime. You know what I mean? I know it's not a McDonald's. No shit, man. It's definitely not no playground. Like, come on. Quit playing with that. Like, just mm-mm, mm-mm. Uh, but yeah, they're teaching them that. And I was like, first of all, in most states, I'm pretty sure almost every state in US, that is a crime. You can call it intersex and act like that makes it okay. No, it's sodomy and it's still a crime. And I'm sorry. When you're talking to children about that type of stuff as a form of contraceptive, then that's a problem, at least in my opinion. Like, why are we even? I mean, no, that's just, that's unacceptable. Like, I can't, some of us adults ain't even trying to talk about that out loud, and y'all got adults coming into the classrooms talking to our kids about that. That's what I'm disturbed about. Like, and then I got people who will like almost like cover their kids' ears when I tell them stuff about like um that the world may possibly be a simulation and magic is real, and if you believe in certain things, they are actually there. It's just whether or not that I've had people be like, "Shh, don't listen to Emma, she's crazy," and I'm like, you're doing your child a disservice when you do shit like that. You're teaching them to be closed-minded, and God help them in the future. I mean, I'm not forcing any kind of crap on anybody's kids that I would think would harm them. I also ask their parents when the kid asks me a question and their parents are around, I will look at them and be like, "Do you care if I answer them before like because a lot of people know me before before they bring their kids around me. So I'm not just going to answer your kid." And for some reason, because I'm that weird person, kids are always um, drawn to me. And a lot of the kids that I'm around, they don't mind their parents, but when they're around me, they mind me. I don't beat none of them kids, but I let them kids know who's the adult, who's the child, and how things work. And then when they get older, like there's levels to that shit. And then there's a certain age where you can start talking to them more on the same level. But talking to children about sex is just about the stupidest thing I've ever fucking. Now, it's necessary, clearly. I got pregnant at 14. Maybe had they taught that specific education part a little bit more better, maybe I wouldn't have ended up that way. Yeah. Because they already, and they already have enough bullshit going on anyways nowadays in school because of social media with one another. For example, I get up this morning, one of my dear good friends, she had just went and her daughter wanted to lighten her hair color. She's got darker hair. Her daughter wanted to lighten it up. So they went to a professional, got it lightened up, and it's real pretty blonde. And the girl goes into school today or yesterday, and like three or four of her female classmates called her a whore. She's in elementary school, y'all. She's in elementary school. Called her a whore because she dyed her hair blonde. I was like, I went to my friend's page, her Facebook page. I was like, look, it sounds like some little kids, parents over there need to see somebody's grandma on the playground because that ain't cool. Like you're letting they're first of all, those girls know that kind of language probably because their mom or their dad one is at home expressing that same type of language, which is first of all concerning. Second of all, if you found out about this and you didn't correct your child and then she in turn keeps coming back to school calling my friend's daughter those names, like it's good. I promise you it's going to get dealt with because my friend will be over there at school getting all up in that because that's just no. They shouldn't even know what that word it means, and I'm assuming that because they're using it like that in even a remotely somewhat similar context to what it could be used by adults, which it shouldn't even be in the adult world, that they know what it means. You know what I mean? I know, right? Exactly. I'd be like, Holly, I don't want you to lose your job, but yeah, I'm gonna go over here to the school. Just make sure y'all got my bail money because no. And when they start coming at kids asking them what they want to identify as they, he, him, he, or she, I said, you tell them you're a flying, one-horn, flying purple people eater. That's what you are. Nothing more, nothing less. They want to get cute with fucking labels and shit. And then when they say, where'd you get that from? Be like, my grandma. I'd be like that damn crazy old lady in Waterboy. Yeah, I'll be like his mama. The devil said, my mama said that girls are the devil. Well, sounds like that class over there my friend's daughter's in. They girls are the devil over there. Talking like that. Like, no. No. I know they are. It does. And see that it really does. It really, really, because if y'all, I was 14 when I had her. And she probably didn't even realize till way later on in life that, yeah, hell yeah, that woman right there, that's my mom, who I thought was adult for a while, was actually a kid raising me. Whoa. Whoa. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to me like that. That's why I think Holly is an amazing mom. I cannot even stress that enough. For a young mom, when you see those stupid shows they have nowadays about teen parents and see some of the dumb, reckless ass shit those women or whatever are doing to those young kids, because it's hard being a teen parent. It's hard to be a teen parent and not have your stupid teenage shit affect your child. Period. It's impossible, in my opinion, for that to happen. But um, but there's obviously a huge difference too when you're a 14, 15-year-old parent versus when you're an 18, 19, 20-year-old parent. Two different types of teen parents. And being a teen parent like Holly is, and having a teen mother at the young age that I was, I think gave Holly an even better insight and perspective on what to do and what not to do as a mom when she got, and it's also made me a better grandmother in the long run too. And it's also made me and Holly's relationship a lot better too, which I'm so happy for. I can't wait till Issa's a teenager so I can get all those phone calls and then have to be like, all right, Emma, even though you want to be like, I told you so, this is not where you're going to do that. You're going to help your kid get through this moment so she doesn't strangle her kid. I'm just kidding. No, Holly was actually a really good teenager. It was her mom that was just not in a good state of mind at that time. So, and everything worked out for the best, honestly, because I don't think had that one thing that set off this crazy chain of events, I don't think if that one thing would have happened, that I would be here where I am right now, that I would have met any of you guys, Daisy, Rich, Lizzo. I don't think that would have ever happened. And wow, after having all of you in my life, like, you can ask Holly because I talk about you guys all the time. Like, because Holly will even ask me when I see her, you still talking to her? Because she knows her real name. And she'll ask, are you guys doing okay? Have you talked? Blah, 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 blah. Like, yes. So you guys are a huge part of my life. And like my show, or being part of the show, the research that I do to bring to the show to share on the side. Like when I was in the live the other day, I had brought up where Holly, you and Cece had been watching that show about Dahmer, and we touched on a little bit about the sexualization and the glamorization of serial killers, and some of the comments women and stuff have been exhibiting lately was just absolutely just crazy. There's no way, Like, I don't want to live in a future where women are raising kids like that. No, or trying to get with dudes like that. Um, yeah, I see. I don't know. There is definitely something to the hormone thing in the food too. I think that's partially why I have like a low grade fever all the time, but I also have that weird see, I think there is something wrong with my oh hey Leah. Um there's something wrong with my thyroid, I believe. So I do have to go get that checked out. And I think it's throwing my hormones off balance, which could affect my weight, could affect my mood, could affect a lot of things. And if it's not putting out enough estrogen, chances are with the food I'm getting, I'm probably getting more uh what is it? Y'all, what's that damn hormone the dudes take? With you know what I mean? The hormone with the testosterone. Bingo, there it is. So that could probably even explain why I've noticed in the last 2 years that my mustache is starting to come in like crazy when I never used to have a freaking mustache before. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's and that was why I brought up Woodward's video when it's so funny. He had did the video about estrogenics, and then the next day was when we were all on the live panel together and we were talking about that. And at first I thought, oh gosh, that kind of sounded like a toxic masculine rant about uh everything's turning dudes into women, but no, it's true. I mean, but we've known for a long time that there was hormones and stuff in the milk and in our food, and it's been biologically engineered and modified and all that stuff. We've known this for a long time, and we are all infected and have been exposed to radiation that they probably don't even want to tell us the truth about the levels of radiation we've been exposed to because we've had Fukushima and Chernobyl and those two bombs. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. The dirt's infected. The water to some level has also been contaminated due to those meltdowns and the way it's blown out of the atmosphere. There's no effing way we're not infected. That's not rocket science. That's just basic common sense if you sit there and think about it long enough. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's just, it's crazy to me. And then and the fact that I guess it's that people are it's hard for them to think that everything they've been taught is a lie and to have to undo that and then relearn new stuff. But then when you start doing that and you realize how much everything is connected, and then you realize how much we're all connected and how much all that matters in the grand scheme of things, I think that's cool as hell. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to wake up and try to do something about it. What's the point in being here? Um, Yeah, I know, right? If we're not going to try to do something and change it, because if you're a star seed or a light being, you know it. Probably known it your whole life, and we're just not sure why. And if you are a star seed and you are at this age, like I am, and you're still trying to run and hide from it, then you don't want to know what I think about that. You really don't want to know that, because you're sitting here for a reason, and if you're trying to run and hide from that, no, sir. You need to do what you're supposed to do, or you're holding the rest of the light beings and stuff back. And we just honestly we're exhausted. We really are. We were so exhausted. Yeah, and oh, I love it. I love it when people tell me that the sun doesn't grow and set in my ass. And I'm like, I know that. That's why you don't ever hear me saying that. But contrary, it does technically. I'm a light being, so it kind of grows from my ass and then beyond, which is why me and all of my friends who are also light beings, we kind of are important. But whatever. What do we know, right? And then we just keep sitting here watching it, and then wait for it. There'll come a time when everybody you'll see little light bulbs coming on in their head, and they're going, "Oh my God, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what they were talking about," and it'll be too late. Yeah, and we are here to do that. If we weren't, I don't think that some of the things that I've just seen in my own personal life that we would be capable of doing. Like, for example, I know for a fact that I can telepathically communicate with certain people, and it has to be people that obviously believe in that same sort of communication, such as Sarah and both my grandchildren, because they have not been told that that's not possible because they have two awesome parents. So much to the point that when they do talk to me, then they wake my daughter up in the middle of the night. Trust me, I hear about it. Mom, please stop talking to my kids while they're sleeping. I'm like, they started it. It's usually Giovanni. He's the one that's playful. Issa likes to just be in her own private little zone and stuff like that. She doesn't like to be, she's really independent like that. Both the kids are. And but I do want to have, because that's another reason why I want to have Holly on too sometime. And Daisy, with what Daisy does, because Daisy in her art studio, what she did was she used art as therapy, but worked with special needs kids, which is why it was so heartbreaking that happened to that studio and why that guy is such a damn dick bag. But anyways, with Holly and Issa being in speech therapy and stuff, I think it would be super cool to have them on so we can talk about all that stuff, because there's a lot that's just, as I've been diagnosed with it, that I've learned about that I didn't realize before. And so to me, it just is imperative, if not critical, for the future generations to make sure that they really understand that autism is a spectrum disorder. There's many different types of forms of it. It can look in many different ways, because there's lots of us in the treehouse that are on the spectrum, and you wouldn't know it unless you, well, we know it because we just know one another, but unless, you really, really got to know them, you probably wouldn't know it. There's just little things about us that we telltale signs that give it away. So that's the reason why I told Holly right out the gate, it's okay if she does, because I do. But there's other people in our family that just, they're not up to speed with it yet. So it's harder for them to accept, like even members of my own family, like have a hard time thinking, because when they hear the word autism, they automatically think that I shouldn't be able to talk and I should just have a helmet on and be throwing temper tantrums and just, that type of, that's what a lot of people still view autism as. And I'm like, no. Matter of fact, if you go read the script behind the backstory of the whole show house, he has Asperger's. And that should give you another perspective of how that can look in a higher functioning person that has autism. Yeah, we're quirky. Yeah, we can come off as dicks sometimes. We really don't mean to be that way. I swear we don't mean to be that. Yeah, exactly. Just exactly. And because I genuinely have like the purest and loving intentions in my heart. It's just, I don't have a lot of patience because the way my brain processes stuff, like I don't have patience. Like you can either get it or you don't. If I had to explain something to me about myself that's going to make your life easier when you're around me, and you know what I mean? Yes, because girls are able to mask the symptoms of autism, and the standardized test that they use to test both males and females for autism is based on the male test that they used back in the day. So they're trying to change that up. But yes, girls largely go misdiagnosed or sometimes completely undiagnosed their whole lives, oftentimes being misdiagnosed with mental health issues such as bipolar disorder, multiple personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, anxiety, all that stuff. So yeah. And then when in reality, if they had got a little bit better testing and stuff and found out, yeah, it's probably autism, and worked with it, their symptoms and their stuff like that from that angle, then they probably wouldn't have had nowhere near. I probably wouldn't have had to have one mental health stay that I've had, voluntary or involuntary, had I got diagnosed early on. My dad has always known there was something up with the vaccine, so he didn't want to get us vaccinated when we were children, and they started doing that. I know. And what's sad is there are people that live their whole lives and don't, they're like your quirky little neighbor down the street that keeps to themselves because he's so misunderstood and nobody gets him and everybody thinks there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just got autism. He's different. He probably sees things on a different spectrum than y'all do, probably hears on different frequencies than everybody else. And when he tries to explain that to people, y'all think he's crazy. So he just keeps to himself. Same shit I've done my whole life. I know somebody that my mom and dad's kids are like that. Stephanie hardly, I haven't seen her in years, but she lives out the same driveway as my mom and dad. So I think it did, but they didn't know about it just yet. Because honestly, there, statistically, if you have it and you've been diagnosed with it, there's a good chance that one of your friends will as well, or one of your family members, even your friend. Yes, because people that have it tend to relate with them more, which is why, I think that's another reason why we're all in the same soul tribe is like we get each other because we are on some level like that. We're just all on the higher end of the spectrum, which makes it harder for people to to realize that yeah, that's what it is. Because I'm super light sensitive, super sound sensitive. I think my granddaughter is too. With some things, she's very routine, which is a lot of uh, things that people with autism have to have. They usually have to have something that's called a STEM toy. Higher functioning people do, which is why you'll see me with my tennis ball. That's my toy. That helps me stay calm in anxious situations so that I don't have outbursts in public, weird outbursts in public and stuff like that. That's part of the reason why I carry that around. Or I'll have some pen or a lighter in my hand all the time because it makes me feel comfortable. If I don't have my ball, I'll have to have a hood on or like some kind of hat or something over my head to help deal with that. But yeah, and food. They'll be like real picky about their foods. For example, like they'll eat certain things and only those certain things, and they have to eat them like a certain way or something like that. Or me, I go through phases. Like for a while, I'll eat nothing but this same one thing until I get burnt out, and then I'll move on to something else, and then I'll only eat that for a while, and then I'll move on to something else. It's one of those weird quirky things I have. Um, being autistic, which is helps me be more understanding whenever Holly will call me and we'll be talking about different things that Issa's going through, and I'll try to give her a way for Issa to try to figure it out on her own to articulate what kind of feeling it is that she needs to communicate to Holly. And she's also learning little bits of sign language too through her speech therapy, which has also been really helpful for Holly and her to be able to communicate and stuff. Um, and then also being around is obviously going to help too because it just help people understand more like, look, she's not pitching a fit just to be pitching a fucking fit and be a brat and da 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 da. She's different, and don't mean that there's something wrong. I hate it when people go, so there's something wrong with him. No, there's something wrong with you for letting that dumb stupid statement come out of your mouth. That's how I feel when people say that. Like the other day, it's somebody going, didn't you just say you were autistic? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, so that means there's something wrong with you. And I was like, no, that means I'm autistic. And that means there's something wrong with you. I know that means my brain's wired differently, so it processes things differently. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. Again, try again, partner. That's it. That's because I don't like that. I don't like that. I think I do. I think I definitely have OCD about certain things. Like I don't like for people to just come and kick their shoes off anywhere and throw them up against the wall or whatever. They go right by the door and they are stacked beside one another, or they go up under your right by a shoe rack or at the end of your bed, but they have to be stacked. You know what I mean? Like, just come on, people. Just a little bit of like, you ain't got to have a spick and span house like it's on the damn Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, but you don't need to be looking like an episode of Hoarders. Which I understand. Sometimes when you're moving, me personally, that's had to live out of her book bags for a while from one place to another because of all these different crazy life situations, pre-pandemic, pandemic, and post-pandemic. It means your brain is wired differently, but not that there's anything. Yeah, exactly. And it processes stuff differently, but it certainly doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your brain because that's the last thing that I'd like. And it just makes sense that they would say that. Why would they say that? Because they want to think that there's something wrong with you to make you feel bad about yourself. Why? Because you're so fucking awesome. Oh, Rich, honey, so does mine. That's why I angle the camera. Let me get a little bit closer so y'all can really see the board. Oh, and just when you thought that was it. Yeah. Just when you thought that was it. But now, honestly, some of that over there is bagged up because there's stuff that I'm giving to my daughter when she comes up. There's stuff that also has to go to my friend, and then there, and then there's now this is my personal space over here behind the curtain, right there. Let's see. right there, a little chair, and then all of that right there. And then of course I got that right there. Wait, yeah, that right there. And that is so I can that's so I can still do that because I actually have a lot of my stuff moved over to my friends, but this is so I can still do some of my streaming and when I'm over here doing laundry or taking a shower or whatever while we figure out where exactly I'm going to stay. I do have to move because I feel like that's probably just necessary with everything that's going on. It's probably gonna have to happen because if I can't, you know what I mean? Like if I can't really be sure that like you have my back like I have yours, then I'm not necessarily going to want to stay around and get jammed up. I'll need to find out the hard way that you don't have my back like I have yours. Like, no. So we'll see how that goes in the long run. We'll definitely see how that goes because I haven't really seen or heard from anybody today. It's just been me and Annie all day. I do too. I'm about to have to take them too. Um, Go ahead if you want to. What is it? Tuesday? I was wondering if you were going to go live later, if you were going to be doing a live stream or not. And also, Daisy, if you're still in here, make sure you download Signal so you can get up with him so we can get that set up soon because that would be awesome sauce. So lots of thank you, hon. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Because I'm also going to have yeah, that'd be cool because I do want to talk about some of that stuff that we've been talking about lately, the especially the serial killer stuff. There was a bunch. If anybody's listening that didn't get to see our Sunday show or what Rich did yesterday with Squirrel Sniper, both shows very, 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 very good. Very good. Lots of good stuff. Had some really funny moments too yesterday in there. And I'm also going to have, I think I'm going to have Alex on over here too sometime. So yeah, um, definitely go check out Sarah at Mindful Exposures, the Magic Treehouse. That's my buddy, 007. Go over and check out Really Roxanne. You can see Pushkin Castle. You can also see me, M's Mad World, over there. Autodidactic, Crypto Alchemist, and that's Burn. Mine's Third Eye, Science Guy. Boom, I nailed it. I got it. And Callum, we're going to have Callum back soon. I know he was not there yesterday, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back soon. So, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be good. We got a lot of stuff going on. Kevin, Sarah. And I want to hear more about that story you were talking about yesterday, Kev. The when you died, the journal and all that. I really want to. Yes, especially when he's like the point A and point B thing. I want to hear that story. So we really got to do a stream soon about that. Love to hear that. Love to hear that for sure. So, dun, 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 dun. And I haven't ate anything today, so I'm probably going to walk up to the store and grab a snack and then call Holly back. So, thank you all for joining me. It's been really awesome. And it's been a really cool little get together with just me and my buddies and my daughter. So I'm so glad that she got to join and be a part of this experience. And then Daisy showed up too, which is always awesome. Because you guys have no idea how much this means to me. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Whether you're a subscriber or not, I really appreciate that too. And the comments that you leave and just the immense amount of support and love and good energy that you guys always send out there. You guys have no idea. It's a lifesaver sometimes, and it's also saving somebody else's life at times. So it matters. Trust me, it matters. You matter, and you're needed just as much as you guys tell me I matter and I'm needed. So I just want to let you guys know that. And I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'll see you all in a bit.